Hello and good morning. In today's top story, we are going to be talking about revising UMW's foreign language requirement. We're going to turn it over to Deborah, investigating this story on the streets in Mary, Washington. Thank you, Nancy. The UMW language requirement, which demands that students take 4 semesters of a language with very little course flexibility before they graduate, has some students complaining that it's a little excessive. We're going to interview a few students here at UMW to get their opinion on this controversial topic. Oh, excuse me, how do you feel about having to take 4 semesters of a foreign language as part of your general education requirements? I'm not a huge fan. I mean, every other general education course that UMW calls for, at most only requires 2 courses for completion. And why? Because it only takes 2 courses to discover if you like a subject, and if you don't, at least gain insight into the core information of those courses and expand and integrate the material into your personal knowledge base. It is true that the only general education requirement that involves 4 courses of study is the writing intensive requirement. Do you think that UMW should require the same amount of credits from both a writing intensive and a foreign language course? No, I mean, writing is way more important. You're going to need good writing skills in almost every job that you take after school. Being able to write succinctly and persuasively is really important, even if just to be able to compose, a decent email. And foreign languages just aren't that unless you're getting a really specialized type of job. Having intermediate language skills is just a skill that's too much for jobs that don't require that, and it's just not enough for the ones that do. What would you say to people who argue that foreign languages are beneficial because they help open students up to cultures and experiences of other countries? I would argue that, at least in my own personal experience, I've gained way more knowledge about the world and more knowledge about, individual cultures around the world in my other subject classes and general education courses like anthropology, sociology, economics, political science, and courses like that. Language courses are not the only way to gain insight into other cultures. In order to keep foreign languages viable in school, some have suggested that they should be more flexible in the courses that they offer. How would you feel about a change like this at your school? Yeah, I think flexibility in your general education courses is really important. In language courses, it's pick a language and commit to it, and then that's it. In your other general education classes, you have so many more options of courses, and you can choose from different disciplines that pertain to what you're interested in, and you just don't get that in a language. For example, I'm taking an argumentation class to fulfill my arts and performance process. It's not a hardcore art class, but you're gaining that experience and knowledge and information from that class that you would have in an art class. It is understandable that this flexibility would be important. Not all students are able to learn and excel in language courses, even when that student excels in other course areas. And here at UMW, 1/10 of the credits needed to graduate are derived from foreign language courses. Recently, Florida's state senate passed a law allowing computer coding to fulfill college students' foreign language requirements. And in Texas, college students are allowed to take coding classes to complete foreign language requirements if they have performed poorly in other foreign language classes. How do you feel about this? I think it's a great idea. I mean, if you're someone who's not good at learning a foreign language and you're forced to take one, you can take a really big hit on your GPA. I read a study recently by the University of Michigan that said that students that enjoy their classes are much more likely to participate, achieve, and enjoy being in those classes So I think flexibility in courses is really important. Otherwise, you're kind of forcing people to suffer through 4 semesters of a course they're not interested in, potentially do really bad in, and you're setting otherwise successful students up for failure. Thank you so much to all the students who helped us today. So I guess the consensus among the students here is that foreign language requirement should be reduced to 2 courses, like the other general education requirements, and that the courses considered foreign language should be extended to cover a broader range of subjects to give students more flexibility in their coursework. But it's all Greek to me. Back to you, Nancy. Thank you, Deborah, for that insightful story. In other news, Donald Trump just names Kanye West his running mate for 2016.